Hi there, this is Brecht Bliet from Simplified Courses, and today we will talk about Angular template-driven forms and how state is being managed. When we're doing template-driven forms in Angular, Angular will do all the work for us. It will automatically add controls, form groups, but it will also remove them when they're needed. And when those form controls and form groups are removed, they're not just removed from the DOM, but also from the form, so also from the state. Today we will learn how we can still manage that state. Stay tuned. Let's start with the first scenario. We might have two addresses in our form. First of all, we have the billing address, but maybe we also have a different shipping address. So when we click this checkbox right here, we see that the shipping address appears and disappears. We can also see on the right that it's being added and removed from our actual form value, so our state is being lost. So when I type something in my shipping address here, and then I remove it again, I re-add it, the state is gone. That's what we're going to tackle today. In the previous movie, we learned on how we could use view models to create tailored objects specifically for our template. In that specific object, we have calculated whether the shipping address should be visible or should be removed from the DOM. Here we have our two addresses. And in here, we will look at our view model to determine whether this address should be shown or not. If you want to keep something in state, then we want to add a new property to our view model to expose it to our template. So let's show the shipping address here. And let's say that we want to use the form value addresses.shipping address. In our HTML, we would remove the old path and go to shipping address. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to create a signal specifically for the state of our shipping address. Let's provide it with a null value, and when the form is set, whether there is a shipping address, we can update the signal right here. Now when the shipping address is not filled in, we have to take the one from our state. So let's say this dot shipping address, and let's try it out. So let's type street number, and so on. We'll remove it, hit it back, and there we go. We have kept our state. In the previous video, we also saw how we could use a view model to show whether the gender other should be shown or not. If you look here, we can see that this field is being hidden and re-added when we need to. This is what the code looks like in our view model. As we can see, we look if the value of gender is set to other, and based on that, we return a boolean. If you look at our template here, we use a simple ngIf with the show other gender. But the issue is when I type something here and I go back to male or female, when I go back to other, it's gone again. So what we can do here is we can actually change the type of the input to hidden to fix this instead of using an ngIf. So let's start with removing this ngIf right here and add a attr.type vm show other gender. Whether that should be shown, the type should be text, otherwise it should be hidden. So let's see if this works. Female, male, other, tests. We can see that gender other has the value test now, but when we go back to male or female, it's still here. So when we click back to other, we can still update it right here. So when do you keep something in state? When do you keep something in a hidden field? For me, it makes sense to put something in state if you don't want to execute the validators. If you keep it inside of your template, that means your validators will keep on running because it will still be part of the template-driven form. Now let's say for our shipping address, we don't want to put it in the state, and for some reason we still want to execute our validators and just keep it in the DOM as well. I'm not saying it's advised, but let's do it anyway. Let's put this in comments for now, so we can see that the state is not being kept. So let's create a hidden field here as well, and let's bind it with the ng model to our actual shipping address. can't forget to add the name here, shipping address. We only want to show this hidden field when there is no shipping address. Shipping address. So let's see if our state is being kept now. There we go. So what did we learn today? When we're using Angular template-driven forms, Angular will automatically add and remove form controls and form groups for us, and that will result in lost state. Most of the time we want that because we don't want that state in our form anymore, and we definitely don't want to run the validators. In some cases, we still want to keep the state. In that case, we could use a signal with that specific piece of state, combine it in our view model, and only set it when that piece of state needs to be set. If we do want to run the validators for some reason, we can use hidden fields. We can use a hidden field on an ng model for a control, but we can also bind an entire form group to that ng model. Behind the scenes, it will result in a form control instead of a form group though. I really hope you enjoyed this session today. If you're interested, reach out. Always happy to talk to you all. Cheers! I'm also creating a template-driven forms online course. It's not ready yet, but it should be soon. If you're interested, you can click the link below and I'll gladly give you a 10% discount. Cheers!